Hello, my friendly acquaintance. There's been a lot of talk recently on the web, particularly on Twitter and on YouTube, about what constitutes a high value man. I like to add my 2 cents to this. And what I want to do is add one word to kind of change that conversation. And that is this: the increasingly high value man. Number one on my list is glorifying God. That is a characteristic of a increasingly high value man. How do you glorify God? With your language, with your actions, with your sexuality, with your chastity, fidelity, by not lying. We glorify God with everything. Just like I teach everybody, believe what people do, not what they say. And I have been guilty of not glorifying God with what I do. So that's number one on my list. Number two, a healthy marriage or a healthy relationship with himself as he's looking for a partner or open to a partner, or if he's just satisfied with himself being single and never wanting to get married or have some kind of arrangement with a woman. Healthy. The key word is healthy. I didn't say happy because you're not going to be happy all the time. Happiness is not the criteria all the time. Healthy. Healthy means you are going to have some hard times, that you're not going to be content. You're not going to be happy all the time. Number three, having children. One of my biggest regrets is that I didn't have 10 kids. Yes, I should have been married for 35 years now and have 10 to 12 kids if she could actually produce that. But that is a big regret of mine. And you'll notice my face even changed. I've said that there's two times in a man's life when his face changes, when he talks about his dreams and when he talks about his regrets. And instantly, I just felt like this warmth come over my face, but it's not the good warmth. It was just kind of like an embarrassment. Number four, a man that is increasingly high value can earn money in any economy or any geographical location. Number five, he has a healthy body and lab work to prove it. For many years, I didn't go to the doctor because I looked good and I felt good. And then I remember going and they said, okay, let's get some lab work done just for some baseline data. I did, and holy cow, I was very shocked because what was going on the inside of me was different than what I was seeing in the mirror, which would eventually work its way out. You can be sick on the inside, but still look decent on the outside. And I had to deal with that. And many of you know that I changed all that. I turned all of that around with dietary stuff and working out. So a healthy body and lab work, super important. Number six, the increasingly high value man is charismatic. That is one thing that is absolutely forgotten in the men's community. To be charismatic, to be able to walk in a room, work the room, to be able to meet and greet people, to be a connector and introduce people to one another. That is what a high value man does. It's not all about him. It's not about drawing attention to yourself. Many times it's about highlighting someone else to a group of people and making those connections, learning how to introduce people. Malcolm Gladwell talks about the connector and his role in society. Number seven, the increasingly high value man is charitable. He gives of himself, he gives of his money, he gives of his time. Sometimes he rolls up his sleeves and has a work day at church or at a community center or in the community somehow, or takes responsibility for a garden somewhere, whether it be at a hospital or a hospice or a clinic or something like that. And you take ownership of that little plot of ground and plant bulbs there and care for it. A charitable man isn't a man who just writes checks to organizations. He's a man who gets involved with things. You know, I always say, read to people that you love. And I love my audience. And you know that I read to you often. One of the things that I want to do is I want to tithe my time by working with inmates, the incarcerated, the people who deserve it the least. Justice has already been done. What can I provide? Mercy. One of the ways that you could be charitable is to show mercy to those, mercy and grace to those that don't deserve it. Number eight, the increasingly high value man is also creative. He seeks for ways to do things differently. He seeks other routes, whether it be in cooking or dressing, but he's creative. He knows there's more than one way to do things, and he utilizes those things and he takes risks in being creative. Number nine, he's resilient. When he gets knocked down, he gets back up. When he gets hurt, he seeks help. He's not afraid to seek help. He's not afraid to say, hey, man, can you help me out with this? Hey, man, I'm struggling. Someone to kind of walk alongside of you to help you get back up on your feet again, dust yourself off and get back on the road. And number 10, another characteristic of the increasingly high value man is that he's well rested and that he protects his sleep. You know that I go to bed around 8 o'clock every night and I wake up at 4. It's not hard getting up at 4 at all. It's harder to go to bed at 8 than it is to get up at 4. But I am well rested. I feel good. I track my sleep. I feel really good about it because I protect my sleep. And when I am well rested, I make better decisions. I'm a better man. I'm a better employer. I do everything better when I'm well rested. 10 characteristics of the increasingly high value man.